everyone, and welcome back to Dylan's Gauge Trains. And for today's review, I wanted to do sort of a more older set from the MPC era, and that is the Lionel Amtrak Lakeshore Limited set. Okay, so in real life, Amtrak did operate a train called the Lakeshore Limited. This train started out in 1975 as a long-distance link between Chicago and New York, and in fact, you can still even ride this train today, as Amtrak still currently operates it. In this set, it comes with an Alco FA diesel engine and around 4 passenger cars, those being a Vistadome passenger car, 2 regular coach cars, and an observation car. Okay, so now let's take a look at a little bit closer of the engine. So right here, usually on the real engines, they had an actual coupler that would come out here, but since this is obviously a starter set engine, it's unfortunately not going to have that. You have your headlight, illuminated number boards, but unfortunately, yeah, these things don't have any numbers in them. You got your in-cab windows, sorry about the little hit. And yeah, you got your little metal horn, little Amtrak symbol. Now let's take a look at the side of this thing. Okay, so now I feel when looking from the side of this engine, you can really tell that most of this engine is unfortunately molded mostly in plastic, which I am a little bit disappointed of, because most of Lionel's engines in the past were mostly made of like metal, but this is just plastic for the most part. The only things that are really metal on the engine is its frame here and its only powered truck, as the front truck here is unfortunately just a dummy truck. It just doesn't have connect to any power, so this is unfortunately the only thing that gets power to the motor to make the engine run. But let's take a look at the back of the engine. Okay, so looking at the back of the engine, you can really start to see, I guess, more of the plasticky bits, because you can see how much it's screwed down, that they didn't try to hide it. And also, I don't know if this was with all the sets in the 90s, but this coupler is it just freely can swing. I don't know if it's because my model is old or if that's how it was like when it first was released, but yeah. And if you think that it lights up through these little portholes, unfortunately it doesn't, as it only gets light to the cab. But yeah. Okay, so before we move on to the passenger cars, I just wanted to point out this little guy right up here. This is mainly to help older engines, if they're MPC or post-war, to switch. So depending on which setting it will go in, it can either go into just forward, neutral, which is just going back and forth, and reverse. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out, because again, that's the only, other than the horn, is the only metal thing, as most of this is just plastic. Because you got to remember, in the MPC era, Lionel was starting to run out of money, and they unfortunately had to make crappy engines, as even when I first got this thing, the motor inside of it was completely done. When I took this to my train guy, it actually caught on fire when we were trying to fix up the motor, but now it runs perfectly. It just needs a little bit of lubrication from time to time. Let's take a look at the passenger cars. Okay, so the first car is the Vistadome car, and there's nothing really too much to say about these passenger cars. Most of them were mostly made of plastic, but I guess a fun fact I could say about these kinds of passenger cars is that these were reused a ton. I think even up till now, they still even use these, just they charge more for them. I think these were heavily based off of the Lionel Line's green streamline passenger cars, which I think are a lot better than these, because even looking under this train car, it only has one roller bearing to get the power to the lights, while with the green ones they had 2. So that's a bit of a letdown, but It's a nice passenger car, I can give it that much. I mean, I will admit, I like the paint job for the windows along here. I thought that was pretty cool when I got it. Okay, so now let's move on to the coach cars. And to be honest, there's nothing really too much to say about them. Like the Vista Dome, they're all pretty plasticky. Again, I still like the striping that goes along the entire train. Yeah, there's nothing really too much to say about these guys, and they're pretty much built the same way as the Vista Dome car is. So, yeah, not really too much to say with these two. So, let's move on to the observation car. Okay, so now let's move on to the observation car. And like the other three cars, this thing is also still made of plastic. I kind of like what they did with the end bit. I just wish maybe they had put like a little Amtrak logo. But hey, it's a starter set train car, so you can't really ask for too much. Another thing that I kind of don't like that Lionel is still doing are these plastic knuckle couplers, because these things are like these knuckle couplers are prone to breaking so many times. Like I even have some of my older Polar Express coaches with these things, and these would constantly, like, sometimes even break off, like, for no reason. Well, back then they used metal couplers, which I wish they kind of do with their starter sets, since obviously it would make it a little bit more quality. But, yeah, not really too much to say when it came to the passenger cars, as these three were pretty much reprints or watered-down versions of the older green post-war ones. And I think this one was either new tooling that was just used from this. But, yeah, not really too much to say when it comes to these guys. Okay, so overall, in conclusion, even though this set is extremely watered down, while I was filming this video with it running, I honestly didn't really hate it all that much. It's a nice set, even though most of it is, again, plastic, and it's kind of toy-like a bit. But I'd say it's a good starter set, especially if you're wanting to get into the hobby. The starter set is pretty cheap, and yeah. So I think to close out this video, I'm just going to do a small run session of it just running around the loop. And unfortunately on this engine, it doesn't have any horn or any sounds to it. So yeah, I hope you all have enjoyed this review, and I hope to see you all in the next one.